Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so YFN Lucci has been having a horrible week. I'm talking about he had to turn himself into the laws. You got everybody putting dirt on his name, saying that he's stupid for getting involved in this situation. A lot of stuff has came out on the case. Now, I've been doing a video about each and every development in this situation. I think I'm like the premiere on how this case is going and how things are going down in this YFN Lucci situation. Now, to be honest, a lot of people have been going at YFN Lucci, man, and really dissing him, man, like turning their back on him almost. But one person is sticking by his side, and that is Reginae Carter. She even recently gave an update to let folks know how YFN Lucci is doing. But the fans are not feeling it. Her fans aren't feeling it. And a lot of people out in social media aren't feeling it. They don't like the fact that she's trying to hold YFN Lucci down. Now, before we get into the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, let's get it. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about YFN Lucci a little bit, man. So YFN Lucci has gotten himself into a terrible situation. So let's break it down. So YFN Lucci started off the week being a wanted man. People were looking for YFN Lucci, and when I say the people, I mean the authorities. And YFN Lucci did the smart thing. He turned himself in. He said, forget this, I'm a lawyer up, I'm going to turn myself in. And then news started to come out about the case, the little intricate details that were issued on the warrant. The warrant alleges that YFN Lucci took part in nothing but a drive-by shooting. And it had people scratching their head because YFN Lucci is super famous and he should be paid. So people couldn't understand why he was playing this close to the streets. Like YFN Lucci should be the furthest person from being in a drive-by. And then the reports also allege that YFN Lucci was the driver. That's like the lowest dude on the totem pole usually, man, is the driver in a drive-by situation. So all of this just didn't make sense to fans. They don't understand it, man. They don't get it. They can't even comprehend how somebody famous and rich is actually out here committing drive-bys. And I have to agree. But YFN Lucci has been fighting this, man. He lawyered up, made sure that he can, plead his case to try to get bond. And then his bond got denied. Now, I'm sure he's got several bond hearings coming up, and he's been keeping in contact with those who are important to him. Now, YFN Lucci has had an on-again, off-again, on-again relationship with none other than Lil Wayne's daughter, Reginae Carter. Now, Reginae Carter, for those of you who don't know, is Lil Wayne's daughter, and she's kind of like a social media influencer. She's got a lot of fans on social media. They keep up with her on the blog sites and stuff like that to see what she's wearing, what she's doing, who she's dating, and what's going on with her. Like recently, she was the topic of discussion because NBA YoungBoy had said something about Reginae Carter, and YFN Lucci immediately snapped back on NBA YoungBoy, man. And he's talked bad about NBA YoungBoy in other interviews, man, where he's just basically put it out there that he doesn't believe NBA YoungBoy is really for the streets or from the streets or really as hard as he claims to be. Now, all that aside, YFN Lucci and Reginae Carter seem to have a productive relationship. They seem to always get each other's back in the media. So it should be of no surprise that as YFN Lucci is going through this traumatic situation where his life is on the line, literally, meaning that he could be going to jail for the rest of his life because he's got a murder charge hanging over his head, Reginae Carter would be the one he was communicating with and be the one who would be his voice in the streets out here. But the fans are not feeling that. They really hate this situation, and they don't like Reginae Carter being a part of this or even taking up for or looking out for YFN Lucci. Why? I don't understand. Maybe it's because they feel it sets a bad precedence because, there's been a long history, especially in the hip-hop community and the urban community, of women standing by guys who have gotten in trouble for crimes that, most people would deem heinous or, things that are just bad for society in a whole. Because, a murder charge hanging over your head, should be something where everybody shuns you in the community. But in hip hop, it really doesn't work that way. You know, just because you have a murder charge hanging over your head or you're accused of doing some type of crime doesn't mean everybody's going to turn their back on you. It's just one of those situations in hip hop where everybody's given, you know, a little bit of leeway when it comes to that. I think there's a couple of reasons for that. Definitely, there's a street culture element to hip hop, which isn't prevalent in other genres of music. And there's a fact of, you know, we've always seen people who didn't do things right, who didn't do things get accused for doing those things, or people who have been wrongly accused, I should say. So, man, standing by your folks has always kind of been ingrained in a lot of people. And, man, hip-hop as a community always give folks the benefit of the doubt, no matter how guilty that they may seem. But that runs a little deeper for Reginae Carter because she's actually in a relationship with YFN Lucci. Her and YFN Lucci have been dating a long time, and I'm sure there's feelings and emotions there, and she's just trying to give him some aid and support. And it's kind of weird because a lot of times folks in their music talk about people turn their back on them when they were down. And then, you know, that's a narrative that's always running. Like, yo, when I went down, man, nobody was there for me. Now that somebody is there for YFN Lucci because of the situation, man, a lot of fans aren't feeling it, man. And even Wendy Williams, who's a talk show host on daytime talk shows and very controversial figure, spoke out against this and didn't like the fact that Reginae Carter was standing by YFN Lucci. Now, we know we only take Wendy Williams' opinion with a grain of salt in the hip-hop community because she hasn't been a voice for hip-hop in a very, very long time, over 20 years. But Reginae Carter, man, she's been the voice for YFN Lucci thus far. She took to social media recently and posted this right. It's a very upbeat post, and she said this. She said, "Hey guys, Ray wants you all to know he's in good spirits and doing well. Thanks for all the prayers and well wishes. He'll be home soon." Now, that was a very positive post. It lets you know that he was up in spirits and that, you know, they're expecting a positive outlook at his next bond hearing. But a lot of people read into this a little deeper than that. They feel like she should have left him and shouldn't even be his voice in getting his messages out to people because of the details in the case. Because in the case, there's actually been a report that dropped a couple of days ago where they allege that as the driver, YFN Lucci left one of his friends, the person who died in the situation, there after being shot in the head and just drove off. And that rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way and seemed very cold and callous. So, man, people are really split, about this YFN Lucci thing. I think that YFN Lucci, man, is innocent until proven guilty. All reports and everything that's going down is all alleged, man. You always got to remember that. But for now, it ain't looking good for your boy. That's to be honest. Now, him and Reginae Carter's situation is their situation. And I'm not going to speak on it because, man, I don't get in between people's relationships. If she feels the need to be his voice or hold him down while he's locked up, I have to say, man, at least he's got somebody to do that for him because most people don't. Now, with that, this has been your boy, Big Man. What do you guys think, man? Do you think Reginae Carter should distance herself from YFN Lucci because he's bad for her brand? Or is this just somebody reaching out to or helping out somebody who's a friend or either in a relationship and something that should go on regardless of what the situation is? Now, with that, this been your boy, Big Man. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.